Here we are at live at...
Of course, now we're recording.
Oh.
And anyways, you're listening to Jet here on the Metal Magdalene with Jet. We are live at the Hartford Death Fest with Bone Storm.
Yeah!
That's not the gay power metal that you promised us.
Come on, Clay.
Oh,
Power. There it is.
Alrighty. So, tell us a little bit about your band.
Bone Storm, it started off as just a quick idea from our bassist, Jeff, Mr. Jeffrey Miles. It was, let's try to do an old school death metal thing. We'll keep it low key, we'll practice, maybe release an EP, do a couple shows, and that's it. And once we all were in the room together playing some of these songs and ideas and hashing them out, it just turned into something that we feel is really, really special.
Care to elaborate?
Clay's pretty spot on. Like I was saying off the record at first, I didn't have anything going on, and I sent a note drunkenly to Rob, who lives in Virginia, like, let's just start a band. I don't know, I don't want to do the long distance thing. 10 minutes later, maybe 10 minutes later, we should probably do this. And then I knew Pete, who's our drummer, sent him a note, because I know Pete works hard and he'll do his shit on his own. And then I knew Clay, I always want to play with him, so I'm like, you know what, you want to do this? And again, I think we had an email exchange. You're like, I'm thinking about it.
Well, yeah,
I'm probably going to do it.
I actually, my first response was just because my previous band, who were in hiatus, I guess, we weren't doing much, and I've got a young daughter, I've got another child on the way, so I'm like, I don't really want to try to do another band. I denied Jeff at first, blatantly. I'm like, I don't think so, dude.
Fucking
and then
musical
2 weeks,
cock block.
2 weeks go by, and he's like, listen, no crazy shows. We're not going to tour. We're going to keep it low key. It's just going to be, something fun that we can write and do something cool with. And I'm like, all right, fine, we'll do this. This is cool. Next thing I know, Bone Storm's been around for about a year and a half now. We've done a weekend tour in Richmond. We're going to go back again in June to do it again.
And we're playing Philly as well.
And we're playing Philly as well. It's like, let's do this little small-time, part-time thing, and it exploded from there.
And how's it been going then? Good?
Awesome. It's our dynamic together is interesting because I come in and I say, we're fucking caveman metal, so we sing about, demons and your atypical metal stuff, but people tend to react to it very positively because we have a sense of groove and we have a sense of fun. We love what we're doing on stage. We love what we're doing when we're practicing the songs that we
actually
write.
like each other as people, so we don't have that weird dynamic where somebody's like pushing and pulling creatively. We just sort of kind of get down on what we're doing, and we want to impress each other and just kind of know the material. It's awesome. And Rob, who's the guitar player, is a really good writer. Steve, get over here.
Sorry.
So we have a third here. This is Steve Grayson, who was a bass player. So our guitar player wrote all the material, or a lot of material, for Steve's old band called Crown of Scorn, which everybody should check out.
Okay, Crown of Scorn.
And Steve's known fucking Rob for years.
25 plus.
So I think Steve has a unique perspective on how Rob writes, and he writes. What were you telling me at Bleachers yesterday about complete songs and complete ideas?
He will come up with an idea in about 10 minutes, and the entire song is pretty much there. And we're just here to change that a little bit, and then let me do this in it. And it's so easy to write with him. It always has been.
And it makes it easier on our ends because the ego gets dropped. Because we'll let Jeff do his bass parts. We'll let Pete come up with what he wants to do to create his pocket style drumming, where he's really in for the groove. He's a pocketed drummer. He knows how to fit and sit in the song. And then it always comes back onto me. It's like, don't write about politics. Don't write about religion. Just come up with, this poetic, satanic fucking shit.
Do you still have that?
Blew it out.
Do you still have that email I sent you?
Probably.
So I sent this guy an email. We're talking about. He approached me. He goes, well, what kind of what are we going to talk about? And I'm like, no politics. No social commentary, This is fucking old school death metal. I want blood, Satan, death, the occult. And so we actually went to the point where I would name the songs to give him a direction. And then I'm telling you guys right now that he's our secret weapon. He writes the best shit ever. And you can understand him, which is very rare in death metal. Every word enunciated, it's awesome. It is fucking my soul gets a little more black every time I hang out with Clay.
When my band
I had one to give, but it's gone.
When my band Beneath the Marrow, my previous band, went into the studio, the best piece of advice I got from the person recording, and it's his name is Greg from Silver Bullet Studios in Burlington, and it was
this a NASCAR interview?
No, fuck off. Man, new car was real good. I don't know what to do with my hands right now. But he said, the first line I delivered, he stopped it and he said, "Dude, that sucks." I'm like, okay,
great.
He's like, you need to enunciate what you're saying. Everything needs to be crystal clear when you're recording because, it's not a live show. You're not going to be able to get away with, a bad sound guy or your guitarist being a little bit overblown or live sound or distortion or anything. If this is a professional recording, everything that you say is going to be recorded and heard. So you need to enunciate. And I'm like, all right, dude, let me go back to it. And it was line for line, punch for punch. Everything that I write, I need to know that I can replicate it live. Not just in a studio, not just in a practice area. That when I'm on stage, the stuff that I write for this band has to be crystal clear.
And do you guys got anything written, an album out or anything?
We have a
six-song demo called Ritual Supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
We wrote a new song. We're going to play that tonight.
Oh, cool.
We have a couple more songs
Surprise!
in the hopper that we're working on. That's the hardest thing that we have to do is Rob, he writes all the stuff in Virginia and he just sends it to us by Dropbox. So we haven't had a chance to really work together and have that organic, figuring out how things go.
I love that he used the
doesn't really bother me, but at the same time, it's a problem because... You all right, man?
I just love that you use that word.
We can't edit anything, so we sort of have to learn the demo as it is, and that's one thing that we're going to take a little time off as Clay's wife brings another death metal progeny into the world. And we're going to have some time off, and I think we're going to try to get Rob up here and write some songs together. I can't wait for that because we all have a lot of good ideas. It's just we're always on a time crunch. How many times? We've only practiced together, 6 times?
6 times. We've practiced together just as many times as we've had shows, essentially.
We usually show up the day before, practice for 2 hours, and then go play the show.
Even the first time that we had practice, I met... I've known Jeff for a couple of years now, pre Bone Storm, just with Slothfest and just being within the Middletown type of scene. And seeing some of his bands before, so when he approached me, it was we're friends. We kind of know exactly what kind of thing we want to get into musically. Mm-hmm. But literally the first time that I practiced with Pete and with Rob was Rob maybe played one of our songs. He did 2 run-throughs doing a scratch recording in Pete's basement, and then he had to leave to go back to Virginia, and that was it. And I sat down. I literally was sitting with headphones on in Pete's basement listening to the songs, and I think I wrote 2 songs that night. Got the lyrics down and recorded them. And then a week later, we came back and did 2 more songs just on the spot, listening to everything is going down and recording it. And it's hard to find that dynamic, I think, for other bands.
Hold on a minute.
We have such an easy and fun
the Virginia guys?
Yeah, how are you?
Are you guys a Virginia band?
Yes, we are. I'm like, I was told I must look for you, and I'm like, can't they just look for me?
It's Grace, right?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
So Clay and I have been talking for the last half an hour.
All about you.
All about you. All about your butter habit.
I love butter. It does great things for death metal.
Dude.
What time are you guys going on tonight?
5 o'clock.
Oh, that's soon.
About an hour and a
Yes,
half.
very, very soon. We're the closing locals on the underground
stage.
tonight.
Because we enjoy those really stupid, sweaty shows where people stand on your feet while you're playing.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what we do.
Say goodbye to everybody.
No.
Goodbye.
I've had
Don't tell me what to do.
I've had enough
Bye,
of you
everybody.
people. How about a power metal goodbye?
Okay, is it what's on written on your shirt in front of
Yes.
me? Okay, goodbye, Metal